Hello, team, and welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pearce. This is a bit of a channel update, a personal update, a bit of an introduction to those who don't even know me, who have just kind of hopped in onto this journey with us all. There's going to be a few changes that may or may not impact the channel at all. I am so okay. First bit of the introduction is, and most of you know this, so apologies for repeating myself. I have primary progressive multiple sclerosis. The reason I'm telling you that is because that forced me to give up my teaching career, and I'm now like housebound, if you like. My mobility isn't very good. I'm very good from the upper body. I look pretty much normal, and most of the time I'm cogent, I hope. And I do struggle over words. I do have fillers because my brain is trying to work overtime in a way that it can't as effectively anymore compared to what it used to be able to. My brain's probably operating at about an 85 to 90% of what it used to. Multitasking is one of the things I really struggle with. And quite often when I'm doing the videos I'm doing, I am multitasking by, uh, on the one hand, speaking continuously, and on the other hand, trying to work out what I'm talking about next, making sure the tech is working, making sure the tabs are in the right place and all that kind of stuff. So that is a form of multitasking. And that is called cognitive load. I struggle with that in a way that I never used to. Apologies for that. But I um, I do like 5 different jobs, right? So when I gave up teaching, I had to find ways of working from home that would pay the mortgage. And one of the jobs I do is as a civil servant, a really kind of low paid job. I was looking for careers I could do from home, and in the end, I was like, no, I just need to look after my own kind of health and mental health. Not have ever had mental health problems, but like cognitive health, I suppose, is a better way of saying it. And so I took a job for 24 hours a week as a civil servant doing telephone work from home. And I've got to the position now where I'm working in 5 different jobs from home, so that I'm broadly sometimes working from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed. But the thing is, actually, most of what I do outside that civil servant one, which is kind of dull and repetitive, most of what I do is I really enjoy. So I don't mind working. Right, with the civil service job I do, I love it. I love who I work for and everything. You know, everything about the job's great and fine and whatever, just what I needed. But it's got to a position where something's got to go, and that's the obvious one that's going to go. So the 24 hours a week came down to 20 hours a week, and now I'm hitting that on head, and that will stop in a couple of weeks' time, and that will then allow me to have just a bit more time to breathe, a bit more time to concentrate on my YouTube efforts and my writing, which is so I'm a journalist and also an author, and also an editor. I have to. I've got some books I need to edit, basically, um, and there's I've got a backlog of work I need to do that's been kind of playing second fiddle because obviously YouTube's taken up a lot of time, and that's because I prioritize what I really enjoy doing uh, the most, I guess. But something had to go, and that is that job. So I'd be hopefully much more able to juggle what I do have and leave some time to like lead a normal human life. Um, so that just gives you a bit of the context as to what's going on there, and within that context, effectively, YouTube has become um, this obsession that on my philosophical channel, I was hoping that my philosophical obsession would be something that could also help contribute to me being able to keep a roof over my head. And that then, I then started getting obsessed with the Ukraine war. And it turns out that loads of other people were obsessed with that as well. And I was feeding that obsession and sharing that with you. And then I was only doing so one video every now and again, but then there was just so much stuff. It wasn't because I wanted to put more content out there and out of any other reason other than there's just this. I'm the sort of person like this stuff I want to say, I will say it. And it got to the stage where there's too much for one video, split it up into, and now I do 3 videos a day on these different areas. And I've got easily enough to fill those 3 videos up. And really, I could do more because it's just too much. But obviously, that's too much uh, is bad. So I don't want to oversaturate content. But I think 3 videos is almost too much already, but for those of you who appreciate that, that's fine. You can dip into some videos and not others. That's the right amount of content coverage, I think, to give me, and therefore hopefully you, an understanding of the whole landscape for the war. The light and dark mode is a funny one. That's almost as divisive as Brexit. It turns out that I think I might stick on the light mode for my news pieces, but I'm not sure. There are some people who naturally find light more easy on the eyes and the contrast better, even though there's a slight majority of people who prefer the dark mode, but it's much closer than I thought it would be. So I think I might play around with how I do the light and dark, and try and keep as many people sweet, because I'm not that bothered. It's more about you guys. Like, whatever, I'm okay. But yeah, so that's that, and it turns out it's quite divisive. But really, what I also want to say is just a massive heartfelt thank you. I mean, it's just incredible to think, 14,400 subscribers on this channel, listening on a daily basis to me bang on about stuff is just pretty insane. So just a huge thank you, because without you, I wouldn't be able to consider the choices I'm making right now, and I would have no channel to spend all this time. I'd have no justification of spending all the time I do, which is a large amount of my day, as you can imagine, doing this. And the members that allow me to sustain mm, what I do, and the people who support with buy me a coffee, PayPal, and thank YouTube thanks, and all that stuff, and obviously, as I say, the members, is just incredible. So I can't thank you enough. I want to make this a thing, but a thing that you appreciate. And one of the things that I appreciate, and I think many of you do too, is the community that is here. And I spent, uh, not only because it's kind of my nature, and I've spent 10 to 15 years blogging and writing articles at different platforms where I've curated communities there, and have interacted with those communities. So my writing process would be: here's what I think. It's quite similar to this in a way. Here's what I think, philosophically speaking or politically speaking, or whatever I'm writing about. And as you know me, I'll talk about anything, right? So I'll say, here's what I think, and then the comment threads are about: if you disagree with me, show me where I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I need to think differently and I need to adjust. It's a bit like the scientific method. So I need to adjust my thoughts so that I end up with a better, more accurate idea of how the world works. And so it's almost like a test bed for my own thinking. And this is kind of what this channel is as well, which is, okay, here's what I think, but if I'm wrong on these claims, put me right, but do so in like a nice, respectful manner. Now, what I'm absolutely amazed at, so well, okay, let's go back. So I'm used to curating like threads. I've done that in other writing platforms, but YouTube is notoriously horrible for the commenters. It's passing no comment on you guys. Actually, quite the opposite. So so many channels are just slime pits of abuse and really sort of unedifying comments. This YouTube community I have here at ATP Geopolitics is insanely good. Like, the all things considered, considering there's politics involved here, there's nation involved, there's a war, there's disinformation agents, all sorts. There's an amazing platform that showcases expertise amongst you guys. Just wonderful, and also just decent people. I really, really do appreciate you, and the amount that I learn from the threads is brilliant. So I know some of you don't come to just listen to me; you come to actually for the expertise that other listeners and viewers are able to add to the whole mix, and that is brilliant. And that is a testament to you guys just being thoughtful and willing to put in your time and effort into commenting in a way that helps others and helps me. And I can't thank you enough for that. It's absolutely brilliant. So, you know, this video is as much about just a big thank you to the community for supporting what I do here and enabling me to continue doing so. And if you will continue to indulge me, I will continue to pump out this content, and hopefully there is a place for it to fall, fertile ground for it to fall, or rocky ground for it to fall on, and you can push back and let me know where I've gone wrong, and that's brilliant too. Brilliant for me personally, anyway. So yeah, huge thanks, and going forward, I might have a little bit more time to just smooth off the rough edges to some of my videos. That would be great. I do have to put out the content in a very timely fashion, and that means that sometimes a few bells and whistles might not be working as they do. But hey, uh, in a sense, you've come to know and accept that, so maybe that's not too much of a problem. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update, a bit of a personal change in my life, which will hopefully make things better for me and therefore better for this channel. Um, uh, yeah. And of course, just a big thank you again. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.